We all know deepfakes are out there, sort of a phantom menace in our digital lives, right? But how are they really shaping global politics? That's what we're diving into today.
Yeah, beyond the hype.
Exactly. We're looking at real-world instances, stuff verified by fact-checkers to see the actual impact on, democratic processes around the world.
And crucially, how people are fighting back.
Right, how nations and new technologies are actually trying to counter this wave of deception. We've pulled together a good stack of articles, research, reports to really guide us through it.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, isn't just how quickly the tech has jumped forward, making these fakes incredibly convincing, but the really sophisticated ways they're being used as misinformation tools. I mean, the power to mislead voters, to just plant that seed of doubt, or even completely warp how people see things in an election. It can be huge.
Even with just a few fakes.
Potentially, yeah. Especially if they're well placed. So understanding these threats and the, frankly, ingenious solutions starting to pop up is just vital for anyone trying to navigate, well, the information mess out there.
So today we're setting the stage with real documented cases and how they were tackled.
Exactly. Getting a real grasp of the challenge and the response.
Okay, let's unpack what we're really talking about here. Deepfakes. Basically, AI creating images, sound, video, stuff that's totally fake but sounds completely real.
Right.
And the worry, like you said, is clear. These sophisticated fakes can be weaponized to mislead voters, to really distort the whole democratic process.
Indeed. And it's important to stress these aren't just simple Photoshop jobs or, clever video edits.
No.
Deepfakes use advanced AI, often things like deep learning techniques.
Which means?
Basically, complex algorithms that learn from massive amounts of data. They learn to mimic a person's voice, their face, how they move, incredibly realistically.
Scary stuff.
It is. And while fact-checkers are out there working flat out to find and expose them...
Doing vital work.
Absolutely. But the sheer sophistication is what really raises the alarm about, information integrity. It's not just what you see anymore. It's whether you can trust anything you see.
Okay, so let's look at some actual cases. How were they handled? Right, let's turn to Europe first. France, 2024 legislative elections. Quite a bit happened there, didn't it?
Yes, a couple of significant examples emerged.
There was one clip, totally fake, supposedly showing Marine Le Pen's fictional nieces making racist jokes.
That's right, completely fabricated. And another one, a fake news broadcast suggesting Ukraine tried to lure President Macron into some kind of trap. Also false.
Interesting, though, there was that Alan Turing Institute study, looked at the UK, French, EU elections. And they only found, 27 viral AI clips verified as deepfakes across all those elections? That number seems almost small.
It does seem small on the surface, right? The volume wasn't maybe the epidemic some feared, but it raises a really important question.
Which is?
Even if the number of verified deepfakes is low, their potential impact could still be huge, especially in really tight races or, during sensitive political moments.
Oh, okay.
Think about it, one really convincing deepfake, even if it gets debunked pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It could still erode trust, create just enough doubt to swing a key group of voters, or just completely mess up a campaign's message right when it counts. It's more about targeted, high-impact hits, not necessarily needing a flood of them.
Yeah, it's a powerful point. Quality over quantity. In a sinister way.
Maybe you'd say that.
But, okay, how does that change when it's not just a few isolated cases, but feels more like a whole wave? Like what happened in India's 2024 elections?
India was different. The scale felt much larger there.
Right. You had deepfakes with massive Bollywood stars like Amir Khan or revered political figures like M. Karunanidhi. Issuing fake political endorsements.
And it wasn't just living people. They apparently even recreated deceased leaders in campaign videos. That really blurs the lines between, reality and propaganda. It absolutely does. That mix of real and manufactured content creates a very complex, very difficult information environment for voters to navigate.
And it wasn't just the high-tech stuff, was it? India also had a lot of cheap fakes.
That's right. Easily edited content, not needing sophisticated AI. Things like fake quotes slapped onto an image of, say, Home Minister Amit Shah, then shared widely.
So much easier to produce and spread. What did India do about all this? How do you counter that volume?
Well, they launched a really innovative national response, the Deepfakes Analysis Unit, or DAU.
DAU, what was that?
Basically a WhatsApp tip line. It let ordinary citizens just send in stuff they thought looked suspicious.
Oh, interesting. So crowdsourcing the detection.
Pretty much. The DAU then worked directly with professional fact-checking teams and these advanced forensic labs, sometimes called AAA labs, because they have top-tier tech for checking media authenticity, and they could get quick public verifications out there. It effectively turns citizens into, like, an active part of the defense system. And expanding on that, India's DAU model is really insightful for thinking about scalable defense. How do you handle this stuff in massive populations? It sort of decentralizes that first step, spotting suspicious stuff, makes every citizen with a smartphone a potential first responder.
Yeah, I see that.
It directly tackles the volume problem you see in countries with huge social media use. It shows how, collective vigilance can build a pretty strong dynamic firewall. It's not just waiting for institutions to catch up.
A citizen-centric approach. I like that. Okay, let's shift continents. South Africa, 2024 general elections, another complex situation there too, right?
Yeah.
Equally targeted, it seems.
Very much so. We saw, for instance, a completely fake video looked like U.S. President Joe Biden threatening sanctions if the ANC won.
Wow, international implications there.
Exactly. And there was another fabricated endorsement, supposedly from Donald Trump, backing a South African party.
Unbelievable.
And maybe, strangest of all, a deepfake of the rapper Eminem, who, famously stays out of politics, mostly apparently backing the Economic Freedom Fighters Party.
Eminem. Okay, that's wild.
It is. And while, again, fact-checkers did great work exposing these, they still really showed how AI is getting better at shaping narratives, not just domestically, but potentially messing with international trust, even if just for a short while or with a small group.
And it wasn't just those big elections. There were other incidents globally, weren't there?
Oh, absolutely. In Slovakia, back in 2023, there was this deepfake audio clip falsely claimed a candidate admitted rigging votes.
Just before the election.
Right before. Spread like wildfire. It really threatened to destabilize things.
And Gabon. There was something there, too.
Yes, a video of President Bongo. It just looked fake to many people, and that alone caused significant political unrest because of doubts about whether it was real, whether he was okay.
So doubt itself was the weapon there.
Precisely. Interestingly, though, some research looking at U.S. elections suggested deepfakes were only maybe 6% of the total misinformation.
Only 6%.
Yeah, and apparently many of those were satire or humor, not actually meant to deceive, which adds another layer, doesn't it? And that's what's so illuminating here, I think. This kind of dual nature we're seeing with deepfakes.
How so?
Well, on one hand, they're clearly a serious destabilizing threat in some situations, capable of real harm like we saw in Slovakia or Gabon. Right. But on the other hand, they can also pop up as, like, dark humor, satire, not necessarily made with malicious intent. So the intent behind making them becomes absolutely critical. You have to understand why someone made it to really gauge the impact and figure out the right response. A deepfake meant as a joke is very different from one designed to swing an election.
It really does make you stop and think. I mean, if even the experts sometimes struggle to spot these fakes quickly, what chance do the rest of us have? And that brings us right to the insidious risks they pose.
Yeah.
Even if it's not an epidemic everywhere in terms of sheer numbers, the impact can be just huge. They spread so fast, right? Using social media algorithms.
Incredibly fast.
And when they look so real, that initial hit can be devastating. And for you, listening, especially if you're in a place with maybe lower media literacy or less access to different news sources.
It's easy to believe them.
Exactly. Real damage can be done long before a correction ever comes out.
Yeah.
And it's not just believing the one fake thing, is it? It feels like it chips away at trust in everything.
That's a huge part of it. It erodes public trust in all information sources, makes it harder for people to tell truth from fiction, even when good information is available.
That truth decay idea.
Exactly. And that can have ripple effects long after one specific deepfake is debunked. It creates this lasting skepticism, which, frankly, authoritarian regimes often love to exploit.
It's like an erosion of the whole basis for informed public discussion.
So given all that, this persistent challenge, you have to ask, how good are our defenses right now, collectively? And the truth is, current detection tools, while they are improving fast, they're not foolproof. Not by a long shot.
What kind of success rates are we talking?
Well, reports vary, but some tools might only catch, say, 25% of fakes in some tests. Others might get up to 80%.
That's a massive range. 25% is not great.
It's a significant margin of error. And think about it. Even one really effective deepfake that slips through, that manages to sway voters, it can profoundly damage an election's legitimacy.
Undermine trust in the whole system.
Precisely. It erodes public trust in democratic institutions, casts a long shadow over everything. The stakes are incredibly high. It touches the very foundation of, informed consent in a democracy.
Okay, that sounds pretty grim. But it's not all bad news, right? You mentioned solutions earlier.
Definitely not all grim. Countries and tech companies are stepping up. We already talked about India's DAU, that WhatsApp tip line.
Right, putting verification in the citizens' hands.
A really interesting model. But beyond that, we're seeing other proactive steps globally. Singapore, for example, took a really firm line. They outright banned deepfake content before key elections.
Just banned it outright.
Tried to nip it in the bud, yeah.
And South Korea. They did something too.
Yes, they passed very strict laws, specifically banning political deepfakes within 90 days of an election.
90 days.
Yeah, and with clear penalties for anyone caught making or spreading them, sends a strong message about how seriously they're taking it, the legal consequences.
Okay, so policy and legal responses. What about the tech side?
Also moving fast. Innovation is surging there too. Companies like Vastav AI, for example, are apparently set to offer real-time deepfake detection tools.
Real-time?
That's the goal. Offer them to governments, media organizations, maybe as early as 2025. That could be a significant game changer for quickly spotting and countering them. Gives us a fighting chance to keep up with the creators, potentially. If you zoom out, look at the bigger picture, what you see is this accelerating arms race.
Tech versus tech.
Pretty much. The tech for making deepfakes gets better, often alarmingly fast. But at the same time, the regulations and the detection tools designed to fight them also get more sophisticated.
So it's a constant back and forth.
It really is. And it's kind of a testament to the fact that we are actively learning, adapting, building these layers of defense through policy, through technology, through community engagement, like the DAU. This continuous cycle, this sort of innovation and counter-innovation, this proactive governance, it's likely going to define the information landscape for years. It pushes all of us to be more vigilant.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What have we unpacked today? Deepfakes, they're a real danger in elections. Maybe not always widespread yet, but definitely potent. They can be incredibly convincing. They spread super fast. And yeah, in the right circumstances, they absolutely can sway public opinion and damage that trust.
That whole truth decay thing.
But we also see the vital role of fact-checkers, the promise of new tech, and crucially, citizen involvement in fighting back, slowly building a more resilient information space.
And for you, listening to this deep dive, I think it really underlines the power, the necessity of critical thinking, digital literacy.
Absolutely.
As we've seen, even just one well-placed deepfake can have massive consequences. So we all need to collectively build up our resilience against this kind of manipulation. It's not just up to governments or tech companies. It's on each of us, too.
Our individual discernment matters.
It's the bedrock, really, our willingness to question, to verify. That's the collective defense. So what can you actually do? Practically speaking, well, cultivate a healthy skepticism. That's number one.
Think before you share.
Exactly. Think twice, maybe 3 times before sharing those really wild or sensational clips, especially around election time when things get heated.
Check reliable sources.
Always look for established fact-checkers. Use platforms like India's DAU if they're available where you are. Look for verified information.
And support labeling.
Yes. Just as importantly, advocate for, support rules and tools that demand clear, unmissable labeling of AI-generated content. Your vigilance, your discernment, it's absolutely key in this fight.
Which leaves us with a final thought. Considering just how convincing these deepfakes can get, and knowing the limits of today's detection tools, how do you think we can truly safeguard public trust, safeguard democratic processes in an age where reality itself can feel like it's being manufactured? And maybe more importantly, what role do you believe individuals really play in that fight?